The chamber fell silent when Ambassador Elena Vasquez stepped forward. 347 alien representatives stared at her with various expressions of disgust, fear, and superiority. The Galactic Assembly had gathered for what they called the final vote. Elena already knew the outcome before a single vote was cast. High Chancellor Varthats of the Luminari raised his four-fingered hand. His skin glowed with soft blue light, a sign of his species' supposed divine connection to the universe itself. He looked down at Elena as if she were an insect that had crawled into a royal feast. "The motion has been presented," Varthax announced, his voice echoing through the crystal halls. "The question before this assembly is simple. Should the human species be permanently expelled from our great union? Should they be stripped of all rights, all access to common trade routes, all protection under galactic law?" Elena stood perfectly still. She had been warned this was coming. For 50 years, humanity had been a member of the Galactic Assembly. For 50 years, they had been treated as second-class citizens, denied technology transfers, denied fair trade agreements, denied seats on important councils. The Assembly had never wanted humans. They had only accepted Earth into their fold because galactic law required them to acknowledge any species that achieved faster than light travel. But now they had found their excuse. "The humans," Varthax continued, "have violated our most sacred law. They have developed weapons capable of destroying entire stars. They have created technology so dangerous that it threatens the very fabric of our peaceful civilization." Elena wanted to laugh. Peaceful civilization? The Luminari had conquered 12 species before humans even learned to make fire. The Kreth had enslaved entire planets. The Assembly was not peaceful. It was simply controlled by those with the most power, and they did not want competition. "We developed those weapons for defense," Elena said calmly. "The Void Swarm is real. Our deep space probes detected them 4 years ago. They are coming, and they will consume everything in their path." Laughter rippled through the chamber. Ambassador Trelix of the Kreth slammed his massive fist against his podium. His gray scales caught the light as he leaned forward. "The Void Swarm is a myth," Trelix growled. "A story told to frighten children. You humans are so young, so primitive, so desperate to seem important. You created weapons of mass destruction and then invented a fairy tale to justify your crime. We have the data," Elena insisted. "We have the images. We have the readings. The swarm will reach the outer colonies in 20 years. In 50 years, they will reach the core worlds. In 100 years, there will be nothing left." Varthax waved his hand dismissively. "Enough of this nonsense. The vote shall proceed." One by one, the representatives cast their votes. Elena watched the display screen as the numbers climbed. 312 votes in favor of expulsion, 35 abstentions, 0 votes against. Not a single species stood with humanity. "It is decided," Varthax said with evident satisfaction. "Humanity is hereby expelled from the Galactic Assembly. All human vessels must leave assembly space within 30 standard days. Any human found in our territory after that time will be arrested and imprisoned. All trade agreements are void. All diplomatic relations are severed." Elena gathered her documents slowly. She looked up at the assembled representatives, at the smug expressions, at the barely concealed contempt. "You are making a terrible mistake," she said quietly. "The only mistake," Varthax replied, "was ever allowing your violent, primitive species into our great assembly. Now leave, and do not return." Elena walked out of the chamber with her head held high. Behind her, she could hear the celebrations beginning. The aliens were happy. They had finally gotten rid of the humans. 23 years passed. The Void Swarm came exactly when humanity said it would. The first colony of fall was Nexus Prime, home to 4 billion Luminari. The creatures emerged from the darkness between stars like a living wave of destruction. They had no ships, not in the traditional sense. They were the ships. Massive organic entities that consumed everything in their path. Planets, moons, asteroids, stations. Nothing was spared. The Assembly sent its fleets. The greatest armada in galactic history gathered to fight the swarm. 15,000 warships, carrying the most advanced weapons technology that 700 years of civilization had produced. The battle lasted 6 hours. When it ended, the entire fleet was gone. Consumed, absorbed. The swarm did not even slow down. Panic spread across the galaxy. Species that had never cooperated began fighting each other for resources, for escape routes, for any chance at survival. The Assembly crumbled as member worlds recalled their representatives and sealed their borders. Vithax watched from his palace as the reports came in. Colony after colony falling. Billions of lives lost. His own homeworld, Luminar, was now directly in the swarm's path. The projections gave them 8 months, perhaps less. There must be something we can do, he said to his advisors. There must be some weapon, some defense, some hope. His chief scientist, a thin luminari named Tolvex, stepped forward nervously. There is one possibility, High Chancellor. The humans. Vithax turned sharply. The humans? We expelled them 23 years ago. They are nothing. They are primitive. They cannot possibly help us. With respect, High Chancellor, that is not true. Our intelligence reports indicate that the humans did not simply accept exile. They used the 23 years to prepare. They built their own civilization beyond assembly space. They continued developing their star-killer weapons. And they have something else. What? A barrier, High Chancellor. They call it the Aegis Wall. It is a defensive technology unlike anything we have ever seen. Our scans suggest it can stop the swarm. Vithax felt hope surge within him, but it was immediately replaced by cold dread. We expelled them, he whispered. We mocked them. We called them liars and criminals. We left them to die alone in the darkness. Yes, High Chancellor, they will not help us. Perhaps not. But we have no other choice. 3 days later, a Luminari diplomatic ship approached the border of human space. It was met by a fleet of human warships, unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. These were not the primitive vessels humanity had possessed before their expulsion. These were massive, elegant, and bristling with weapons that made the Assembly's technology look like children's toys. The human admiral who appeared on the communication screen was a woman named Sarah Vasquez, the daughter of Elena Vasquez. She looked at the Luminari ambassador with cold, unblinking eyes. "State your purpose," Sarah said. The ambassador, a nervous young Luminari named Cathor, swallowed hard. "We come on behalf of the Galactic Assembly. We seek audience with human leadership." "We wish to discuss the swarm," Sarah interrupted. "You wish to discuss the void swarm that you told us was a myth. The void swarm that you expelled us for trying to warn you about. The void swarm that has now destroyed half your civilization." Cathor nodded miserably. "Yes, we were wrong. We admit this freely. We were arrogant and foolish. But now billions are dying. Our worlds are burning. Our people are screaming. Please, we are begging you. Help us." Sarah was silent for a long moment. Then she shook her head slowly. "Turn your ship around. Go back to your assembly. Tell them that humanity remembers. Tell them that we remember every insult, every denied request, every sneer, every vote. Tell them that we were left to die alone, and now we will not be rushing to rescue those who abandoned us." "Please," Cathor said, tears forming in his large eyes. "We will give you anything. Trade rights, technology, seats on the council. Whatever you want. What we wanted was to be treated as equals. What we wanted was to save lives. You refused. You threw us out like garbage. And now you come begging at our door." Sarah leaned forward in her command chair. Behind her, her crew watched silently. "But we are not like you," she said. "We never were. That is why you hated us. Because we are different. Because we did not abandon those in need. even when they have wronged us. Cathor looked up, hope flickering in his eyes. "We will help you," Sarah said. "We will extend the Aegis Wall to protect your worlds. We will fight the swarm alongside you. We will save as many lives as we can." "Thank you," Cathor whispered. "Thank you so much. But understand this. We are not doing this for the Assembly. We are not doing this because you asked. We are doing this because there are innocent beings on your worlds who did nothing wrong. Children who never voted to expel us. Families who just want to live. We will save them." Sarah stood up from her chair. "When this is over, there will be no more galactic assembly. There will be no more hierarchy based on age or supposed superiority. There will be a new order, built on equality and cooperation. Humanity will not rule over you, but we will not be ruled either. We will be partners, true partners. Or we will walk away and leave you to whatever future you deserve." Cathor nodded quickly. Yes, of course. Whatever you say. Just please, help us." Humanity came. Their fleet swept across the galaxy like a protective wave. The Aegis Wall expanded, pushing back the swarm wherever it touched. Their star-killer weapons tore holes in the endless enemy. For the first time since the invasion began, the swarm was stopped, then pushed back, then slowly, painfully destroyed. It took 10 years. 10 years of war, of sacrifice, of humans dying to protect species that had once despised them. But in the end, the swarm was gone. The galaxy was saved. And everything changed. The new Galactic Council was built on different principles. Every species had equal voice. Every species contributed according to their abilities. There were no masters and no servants, just partners working together. Elena Vasquez, now very old but still alive, attended the first session of the new council. She sat in a place of honor as the representatives gathered. Vithax, no longer High Chancellor, but merely the representative of Luminar, approached her slowly. He looked tired, broken, ashamed. "I owe you an apology," he said quietly. "We all do. You told us the truth, and we refused to listen. You offered to save us, and we threw you out. How can you ever forgive such blindness?" Elena looked at him for a long moment. Then she smiled gently. "Forgiveness is not given because it is deserved," she said. "It is given because holding on to anger only poisons the one who holds it. We forgive you, not because you earned it, but because we refuse to become what you once were." Vithax bowed his head. When he looked up again, there were tears in his glowing eyes. "We will never forget what humanity did for us," he said. "No," Elena agreed. "You will not. And perhaps that is enough. Perhaps being remembered for saving others is a better legacy than being remembered for being right." She looked around at the gathered representatives, at the new hope filling the chamber, at the future being built from the ashes of the old order. "This is what humanity always wanted," she said. "Not power, not revenge, just a chance to prove that the galaxy was worth saving." And it was. It always was. The chamber erupted in applause. Representatives who had once voted to expel humanity now stood to honor them. Species who had once called humans primitive now recognized them as the saviors of all life. And somewhere in the vast darkness between stars, the last fragments of the void swarm drifted away into nothing. The nightmare was over. The future had begun.